Okay, so Month of Macabre, second video. I am going to be doing another request. This one is by Lucid Art on YouTube. Um, Cupcakes. So I've never listened to or read this. Who doesn't know this story? I'm pretty sure everyone does. I believe it's just Pinky kills Dash and makes cupcakes out of her. I've never read or listened to the entire story itself, so I am going to do that. I think this is the original. Finding the original on Fanfiction was like, I couldn't find it. This one is a reading by TheLostNarrator from 10 years ago, so it should be it, I guess. 10 years ago was what, 2014? I think Cupcakes came out before that, but maybe the Lost Narrator did it after that. So we'll see where this goes. I'm not expecting much. Grimdarks are really hard to get right, and Cupcakes is just kind of like. So, thinking of creepypastas, I was a big creepypasta person before, with like Jeff the Killer and stuff like that, and they always let me down. Like, I would know the story of Jeff the Killer, and I'd be like, oh, that's interesting, and then I'd go read the actual fic, and I was like, oh, this is really bad. So, we'll see. We'll see how this goes, starting it now. So, yeah, it's just so far, they get, Dash gets caught, and Pinky's going to, like, cut her up, I guess. But, like, Dash is like, they'll come looking for me because the clouds will pile up, and Pinky's like, oh, there's plenty of Pegasus ponies. But then, like, she's like, uh, the Pinky is like, how long do you think I've been doing this? Like, nobody, and it's like, yes, but I'm sure Twilight and Applejack and Rarity and Fluttershy would be like, oh, Dash is just gone. There has to be like some sense to it, you know, and already there's not sense to it, so it's kind of like, okay, I'll just suspension of disbelief, I guess. We'll see where it goes. I'm only 7 minutes in. It's 25 minutes. So like, I want to say something in reference to my own horror, grimdark, uh, MLP story. Mine centered on the Pie family. Uh, there was reason behind it. It actually had sense. I'm 11 minutes in. Maybe we'll get reasons behind this. I'm bringing this up because of Cupcakes. So Pinky does this in Sugar Cube Corner, and it's like that's literally in the center of town, in a place that you don't even own because Sugar Cube is the cakes' store. So like already like there's a bunch of questions. Like you're like, well, what, Like there's like a few what's, you know, and then what I wanted to say was this. With my story, people were like, oh, they're gonna get caught. But here's the thing. So like with the Pie family, they live on the rock farm, and the rock farm is like ostensibly, if that's the correct word, like very big, and it's very far off. It's not a place where a lot of people seem to go. It's very large, and to search it even would be difficult. So like when I had, say for example, because like for example in this in Cupcakes in this one, Pinky's like, I've been doing this forever. She has like a crap ton of like unicorn horns, and she has like Pegasus wings, and Twist got killed and Gilda got killed. And it's like, okay, so even if we multiply, that's like 10 plus things. That's like Gilda Twist is 2. There was 4 Philly heads. That's 4 or 5. 3 unicorns is 8. 3 Pegasus pairs of wings is 11. It's like, how is this happening in a town essentially? Like, it's already like really nonsensical. Like that just already seems absurd beyond belief. Yeah, I don't like cursing, obviously, but this was the A word. A, it was so A. It's just like gore porn, very reminiscent of early Saw movies and stuff. Uh, this was garbage, trash. It shouldn't exist. Stuff like this shouldn't exist. It doesn't make the fandom better. If you want stuff like this, go watch horror movies. Go watch Terrifier. Go watch uh, stuff like Saw. Don't this shouldn't exist in MLP. I'm not a big fan of anything like this, uh, because it doesn't serve a purpose. I don't like stuff like this. I don't stuff like the Infection AU, alternate universes. I don't like any of this crap. I do horror stuff, but horror should be done when ponies is the focus with a purpose. If you have a reason for the stuff, then it makes sense. So, like with this story, at the end, like Pinky's like, I'm gonna put Rainbow Dash back together and I'll have her forever, and I'll do that with all my friends. Like if the mentality there was like Pinky doesn't want to lose her friends, so she goes crazy and she kills them and puts them back together as puppets. It's like, okay, that makes sense. I could definitely vibe with that reasoning. But this story was basically just Pinky kills Dash in a very gruesome way for no reason. And like that's stupid. Like we don't need stuff like that in the fandom. It's crazy that this became like as popular as it did. It's only because it was like one of the first incredibly gory, horrible ones that like it got so popular. It's not great. There's nothing great about this. Like if you really want a good like horror MLP story that is like about Pinkie Pie, I guess, would be like Silent Ponyville. Like that one's like even that one's not incredibly good. I have like a list of like really good horror ones that like are just very uncomfortable and good, but they have good writing and stuff. This was just let's write gore for no reason. Yeah, the performance was good. The Lost Narrator did a good job, but the story itself is literally garbage. It doesn't need to exist. If it never had existed, then it would have been fine. Um, Honestly, if you like stuff like this, you might want to get checked out. That's I don't mean to be like mean or anything, but if you enjoy stuff like this, there might be something wrong with you. Uh, it's not like especially with like ponies being the focus. Like I said, I don't want to be like offensive or anything, but there are people that like really bad horror stuff like Terrifier and Saw and stuff, and if you like that stuff, there are mature things for you to like get that out of your system and see it. But like if you're like doing that with stuff like this, it's I don't know what to say. But yeah, this was garbage. I didn't care for it. I'm not even a big Rainbow Dash fan, right? And like uh would never write something like this. I loathe Rainbow Dash in a lot of situations, and I would never write a, a fiction where Rainbow Dash this happens to. And like you could be like, well, you wrote that story, Family is Everything. I did. I wrote Family is Everything because I was really mad about what they did with Marble Pie and Big Mac. That's why. The reasoning behind my thing was like when I get mad at the writers often. You all have seen that I get really pissed off at the Ken and the writers like all the time, and I've done that twice. I've done that twice just because like I felt the characters deserved it, and I did that to Starlight. I have one story where Starlight gets killed, and I love Starlight. So like even in the well, I have a lot of characters die in my fic. Anyways, my point is this, is that if there's a purpose behind your fic, like a reasoning, then okay, I can understand. This Cupcakes was just gore porn. It was just gore porn with no purpose at all. There's like probably hundreds, if not thousands, of much better horror fics that come from MLP. So yeah, this was garbage.